Hi everybody, Lene here with Bloom Feather Studio. I thought it'd be really fun today to paint some scabiosa. This is a pretty whimsical flower, and then maybe put a little butterfly at the top. So the colors I'm going to use today are lemon yellow, sap green, quinacridone purple, and horizon blue. Let me show you the tubes. This is the sap green, Winsor Newton. This is the lemon yellow from Winsor Newton. And then horizon blue, it's like a cerulean blue. So if you have a light blue, you can use it, from Holbien. And this is quinacridone purple from Daniel Smith. Okay, two brushes I'm going to be using are the Princeton Select Oval Wash, my favorite, the 3/4 brush, 3/4 inch. And then Winsor Newton Cotman No. 8 brush, round. Okay, so you just need a round pointy brush, and well, you can use whatever brush you want. I just really like this. I like using it on its side for doing like the thin petals. Okay, on my paper I've drawn 4 circles where I want the flowers to be. So one here, one here, one here, and one here. And you can do this in whatever shape you want. It just helps me to have that put there so I know what direction they're going to face and what they're going to look like. Okay, let's get started. So first I'm going to start with this brush here. And I'm going to take some blue. So here's my blue. Get a nice amount on my brush. And I'm going to start by doing the center of the flower. So I'm going to just turn this a little bit. And I'm going to have this flower kind of facing that direction. So just some blue marks like that. Okay, then I'll move on to the next flower. And this one I want kind of to be more centered, so I'm going to put the blue marks more in the center and kind of go all the way around with them. Like that. Okay, as opposed to this one where I just have them facing the direction I want the flower to face. Okay. And then for the third one, this one's kind of facing up and to the side. So I'm going to put some blue kind of like this. Okay. And then the top, I want to be a nice wide open flower. So I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to put some marks all the way around like this. Okay, always kind of face everything or have everything point towards the center of your flower. Okay, now once the blue is done, I'm going to just clean off my brush a little bit here. And I'm going to add some just clear water strokes to let it kind of bleed a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to come in with my purple and my larger brush, whichever brush you want to use for petals. I'm going to get a lot of purple. Maybe mix a little bit of green in it. Let's bring some green over there. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to start with the bottom flower again. And I'm going to just tap in some petals. So I like to do like a set of 3 and then change direction. So kind of like this, and then or 4, something like that. Okay, I'm gonna leave that. Get a little bit more purple. So some longer, some shorter. Okay, I'm gonna leave that one. And then for the top, for this one, it's kind of facing up more. So you always want to try and have your petals facing into the center, even the purple ones as well, for the most part. I have some small ones here. Okay. And then for the top, nice wide open flower. Some short, some long. Okay. Now I'm going to go back in and add a few kind of more watery strokes just to add some dimension here and there. Okay, that's good. And I do want the blue to kind of bleed a little bit into the purple, or the purple to bleed into the blue a little bit. So I'm going to make sure that happens. It's happening already in different places here and there. Now, with my smaller brush, I'll clean it off, make sure it's really clean. Dab it on my towel to make sure. Get a little more water. And I'm going to grab some yellow. And I'm going to put some yellow kind of at the base of the flower. So right here. A little bit in the middle here. Take advantage of this wet right here and put some yellow here where it's bleeding into the purple. And then some here where it's bleeding up here. This one here, I'm going to put a little more blue so that it has a little bit more bleed. There we go. I'm going to play with it a little bit here. Add some water there and then a little bit of yellow. Just because I like the yellow and the blue to kind of bleed together a little bit. Okay, so we're going to leave the flowers alone for now. And now what we can do is add some stems. Let's do the stems. So always start your stem in the middle of the flower. So for this one, I want it to be right about here. And then just curve it around and bring it down. Right about there. Okay, and now this one, right about here. Bring that one down. This one's pointing this direction, so I want it to come curve here. And then this one up top is kind of straight, so we'll wobble it a little bit just for some fun, interest. Like that. Okay? Now, I want to add a little color to these stems. So right at the top, I'm going to just dab in a little purple. Just for fun. And then maybe a little bit of yellow somewhere in each stem. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to go back into the flowers again. I'm going to take my big brush and clean it off, make sure it doesn't have any color on it. And I'm going to add some purple. I'm going to get some really dark purple. I'm just going to accent the flowers a little bit. So they're almost dry. Some of them, this one's really dry. So I'm going to come in with the purple. Just add a few extra accents to it. Give it some depth and interest. This one's a little wet still. Put some here. I'm going to leave that for a second. And then the top one, still a little wet too. Okay. Okay. Does that look good? Kind of join this up here with the purple. Join these two up. Yeah. Like that. Okay, that looks pretty good. Cleaning off my brush. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get mostly water, the teeniest bit of color, whether you want to do purple or blue. And I just want to add a little shadow. So I did it already for this one. I just dabbed it in there and added a little shadow color. Just, again, for more depth. So you can barely see it, but it adds so much to the painting to have a little bit of extra something, like a hint of color. So let me show you up close. You look at this flower here, you can just see the tiniest bit of color there. Okay. Let me just get rid of these drips. And then, now let's do the leaves next. So you can use either brush if you want to, because they're nice thin leaves. I'm going to get a little bit of yellow and green mixed together. I'm going to add some leaves at the bottom. So mostly these flowers have leaves down at the bottom of the painting, or at the bottom of the flower. So I'm going to just go like this, real simple. Okay. And then maybe one right here. This one will go behind. And then let's do one. Let's see, one right here. Let's do that one. Do one on the other side, coming off here. So you can see I'm starting out really light and then I'm pressing in to make it fatter. And then you can just make the tiniest bit of a tip if you want. Okay, and then let's do one over here. Okay. I'm gonna have this one go to that stem. Okay, and that's it for leaves. Now we want to do these little buds right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get some yellow on my brush. So if you're using the small brush, you're just going to paint a circle with it. I'm just going to use this big brush. It's easier that way. Get some yellow. It's okay if it has a little green in it. And I'm going to put one right here. It's kind of a round circle right there. And then we'll have one up here, right here. I want to do 3, so let's see, where should I put the third one? Maybe down here at the bottom. Just a little tiny one down here. Okay, so we've got our 3. Now, pretty quickly, while it's still wet, I want to add just the tiniest bit of green, little green fronds, a little darker green, so like maybe that color green with a little yellow mixed in, and so I want this one to face this direction, so I'm gonna put little stems like that. I'm gonna switch to this brush. Just little stems, or not little stems, little kind of leaves coming out of it. Oh, I like this one better. Then I'm gonna come up here, and this one's gonna face that way. So a little V like this, and then some cute little stems coming down like that. So it's fairly thick paint. And then this little guy, let's have him, should I have him curve? So maybe I'll have him go like this. Okay, and I'm gonna just dab in some yellow here to let it all bleed. Ooh, I like that one. I'm gonna dab in some yellow here to get it all bleeding nicely. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of purple. So get a nice amount of purple on your brush. And I'm just gonna choose a side for each one. So let's do, this one's so pretty. Let's do like a little purple right here. Just dab some purple in there. That might get out of control. I might have to lift some of that out. So I'm gonna do purple here. And then for this one, purple here. Okay. So I'm cleaning off my brush. And just gonna go in and make sure this stuff bleeds a little bit. Just a little bit of water to help it bleed. This one's watery already. Okay. Now we'll do the stems. Same thing, we'll do the stems for these. So let's do this one. Coming down here like that. And then this guy like this. Actually, I'm going to start it here. He doesn't get much of a stem. And then this guy's gonna curve around behind here. Let's see. Like that. Again, I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow to these stems. And I'm going to put a little purple at the base of the bud. Right there. Okay. Okay, we're going to let those dry. And I'm looking at my flowers. I'm going to add a little blue here. Maybe I'm going to get really dark blue and add a little accent. Okay. Yeah. This one, I'm going to mess it up a little bit. Got some strong blue there. Put a little yellow in it. Yeah. Okay. Now we're almost done. So you can leave it like this if you want. Or I'm going to just join up these right here. Or you can add a little butterfly. So I'm going to add a little, let's see, where would be a good place for a butterfly? Okay, I've got a couple of splatters here. Maybe right here, just a little tiny one. So I'm going to come in with my big brush, get a lot of mostly yellow, maybe a little bit of green. It's going to be a really simple butterfly, so I'll show you this one. Okay, it's just got, you know, the top wing and then the bottom wing and then a little suggestion of a wing behind it. So if you feel more comfortable, you can draw it out first. So, but I'm just going to go ahead and wing it and hope for the best. So there's my top wing. So I just did two little, they look sort of like petals for that. And then I'm going to do the bottom wing. It's going to go down this way. Okay. And then I'll do the suggestion of the other wing behind it over here. Okay. Just like that. I'm going to kind of join these guys up. Oh, there, that looks better. Maybe make this one a little bit bigger on the bottom. Okay, so this is what I've got. Okay, and now I'm going to take my smaller brush. I'm going to get some purple. So if you want to use a really pointy brush, it's probably better, like, I don't know, like this one. This one's really pointy. I'm going to go ahead and use that one for the, you're just going to draw, you're going to paint just 3 little lines. So the 2 antennae and then the base of his little body. So I'm going to get some green and purple mix. Mostly purple. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah. So green and purple mix looks like this. See how it kind of looks like black? More purple than green. And I'm just going to take a little bit, get a little bit on my brush. And I'm gonna put, now I don't want it to bleed too much or at all really into the butterfly. Let me see if I can zoom this up a little here. Okay, so then I'm gonna be careful not to get my other part of the painting wet, and I'm just gonna put in 2 little antennae at the top. Like that, okay, and then the bottom of the butterfly. You see that? Just like that. And that's it. Okay, let's zoom it back out so you can see. Okay, so once this dries, I will actually, let's add a little bit more interest to the bud. Oops, I just dropped my brush. Just kind of dab in just a little bit more color on the sides, just for fun. Just a couple of dots like that. And I think we're done. Okay, here's the final result. It's mostly dry. This would make a really nice card if you wanted to shrink it down smaller. Don't forget to erase all the pencil marks if you made them. I'd probably wait till tomorrow to do that just to make sure it's really dry. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks you guys for subscribing. Those of you who've subscribed and liked, and leave me comments. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, what you would like to see. You can go onto my Instagram and look at pictures, and you can comment there. Let me know what kind of tutorial you would like to see. I need some ideas. Thank you so much for your support, and I will see you again next week. Have a great week. Bye.